Thank you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm here to discuss how the enterprise DevOps solution from Micro Focus can deliver true business value for our customers. I've got three key things in the agenda. I'll start with a DevOps overview and talk about the challenges with the enterprises today in implementing DevOps. Then I'll talk about what is our strategy here. How do we deliver value for our customers through our enterprise DevOps solution? Let's get started with this quick Formula One racing video. It's a pit stop video. I believe everyone is familiar with these pit stops in Formula One racing. It's a spectacular part of this racing itself, and it often decides the winner of the race. And that's why the racing companies have got so much strategies when it comes to pit stops design. They would like to make sure they don't do any mistakes in the pit stops because it could change the winner immediately. Similar to the Formula One pit stops, we have got this modern software application development as well today. The trends are so common. IT teams have been pushed harder than ever now to release their software applications to the customers very quickly as possible so that they can do before someone else does. Just they want to get their competitive edge as well. While looking at speed, they must also ensure that performance is never compromised as well. So speed and quality are two critical things when it comes to software development. So we all live in an application economy world, and every business runs as a software company. I'm sure a lot of you would agree to me. With the likes of business leaders like Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, and Uber, we see few things in common. Number one, they have always operated as a software company, even though they have been in some other business. Number two, they have been the leaders of continuous delivery, and they have taken the speed to quality approach. With continuous delivery, what they have done is they have been able to get those frequent software releases. That means they have been able to offer value to their customers more often. So continuous delivery is directly integrated with customer value. It's directly connected with the corporate growth as well, because we are seeing all these business leaders flourishing in the corporate growth. So how do you speed up software delivery? How do you get better in continuous delivery? Three things required essentially for speeding up software delivery. Reducing friction. Friction is quite a dangerous thing in business, especially in enterprises. That's the biggest reason why the software delivery is slow today. And it's often not seen outside. It is like an engine running with very, very less oil and also with tight bearings as well. Often in enterprises software development, especially you see a lot of waiting times, things like waiting for development environment to be created, waiting for QA approval, waiting for steering committee approval. I can name many things. All these different waiting times is adding up to friction, and you need to make sure you get this friction out of the game to speed up the development. Number two, reducing inventory. We all think that software doesn't have inventory. It does, especially in software. If you've got all those source code sitting in repository without deploying it to production, it's an inventory to the business. That means there is cost spent on it. You have not got much out of it. The third thing is work on value. Work on only value-based projects. You often see a business user saying, I need this feature in a few days. And the developer goes and creates those features, deploys into production. There is no user using it at all. So that is something which is not of value. So if we essentially translate all these three things, reducing friction is about improving the collaboration between the dev and ops. Reducing inventory is about increasing the deployment frequency. Projects of value, focusing on value. That's what agile methodology suggests. And all these three things narrows down to DevOps and agile. So in essence, everyone understands the importance of DevOps today, especially the enterprises realize that, but they have been able to master it? No. They've got these key challenges. DevOps is not just a solution in a box, which you can get it right immediately. Enterprise challenges are these: dependencies and visibilities issues. Making a small change in enterprise is not as easy as what we think. If you touch a small thing, it could affect something else in a different application or in the same application within the same company. And there is no visibility as well, which affects what, where the releases are coming up. Disjointed tools. Enterprises have got so many tools in testing, development, and deployment. Thanks to the DevOps and controlled autonomy feature in DevOps, they've got so much freedom to developers. So they went and deployed so many different tools for good reasons. But the problem is all these tools are all disjointed. There is no integration between them. There is no combined value out of it. Number 3, testing bottlenecks. Either it's manual or automated testing. Testing, when it's done towards the end of the software development, it becomes a major bottleneck. It delays the whole software lifecycle. Releases. More often we think about releases and software automation of releases, deployment automation towards the end of development. And there are not many solutions which can address these things towards the end. That's a problem. And adding to all these things, the enterprises have got legacy systems like mainframes. How do you get modernization out of it? How do you implement DevOps on those legacy systems? So with these challenges, what is Micro Focus approach here? What is our enterprise DevOps solution? How do we resolve these issues? Our strategy is unique here, and we have certainly got some differentiators as well. We believe that the enterprises today have deployed different tools like Jira, Jenkins, Azure DevOps, or AWS DevOps, possibly as well. And often these systems are all siloed. They could address one or two factors in DevOps problem, two aspects of DevOps problem. Either it could be around build automation, or it could be around deployment automation or test automation. But the major challenge is they don't address as one single solution. There is no single solution which can automate the whole thing in the software development lifecycle, right from planning to monitoring. Our strategy here is to integrate all these different siloed systems, as well as the people and process involved here in the software development lifecycle. We go and look into each phase of software development. We look into the planning phase. We address those issues there. We are able to actually find the issues. We identify those issues, report it in the dashboard, which leads to resolution as well. Then we go to the development phase. Likewise, we address phase by phase continuously. And the second thing is we ensure quality and security is addressed at every stage so that it does not become a bottleneck towards the end. And we build on what works for our customers by bridging the old and new. If a customer has already invested in a CI solution, the continuous integration solution from another vendor, we would certainly work on top of their existing investment. So let's look in detail how this architecture fits in, how this enterprise DevOps framework or the architecture fits in. So what you see here is software developing from design state to coding and then deployed and then monitoring in the production as well. And we have got this governance solution. This is Octane, ALM Octane or Octane. This is the core or heart of our enterprise DevOps solution. It is a simple web-based governance and insight solution. With Octane, we are able to trigger this pipeline and kickstart this continuous integration process with which we are able to automate these builds. And once the builds are done, this is where the unit testing gets done as well. Then it kickstarts a continuous testing. This is where the likes of functional testing tools like UFT, Micro Focus UFT, load testing tools like Load Runner, and Fortify security testing tools. All these tools comes into play. Continuous testing happens here. Once the software is well tested and secure, then it's released ready for deployment. Then it kickstarts a continuous delivery. If you have got tools again to automate this process, our release orchestration solutions are able to do two things: provision the environment for customers, either in cloud or in on-premise as well as it can deploy into multiple environments based on the need. Once the software is deployed in the production, then we have got this performance monitoring tools to monitor the production environment. If there is any issue in the production, it can automatically create an incident in our service management systems. So I know it's a busy slide. You've got the whole phase and life cycle as well. There are a couple of key things to be looked in here. One is Octane is a central orchestrator, which is actually triggering this pipeline, and it's able to monitor and govern end to end. From here, it starts and it goes till here, end to end, we are able to monitor. And the other beautiful aspect here is not anymore these solutions or components, what you have used in these phases are disjointed. Since we are triggering from Octane, we have got those integration with all these components. So all these solutions or components used in different phases are able to feed back the results back into Octane. So that's how Octane is so powerful with its dashboards. It has got so much information. It has got the build results, it has got the test results, it has got the release information, all in one single place. It's so insightful for the business stakeholders, QA, and the development team. What else? You also start suddenly getting like all these build runs, all those beautiful continuous insights into the build every time. On every check-in, it happens. You can go in and see things, what happened in few previous runs as well, or in the latest run too. You can see what has been the status of the run. What is the test status, whether it has got passed or failed, why it has failed, who is the developer who has checked in the code, what is the code commit here, this is a file which has been committed at this time, and why he has committed this code. Because of this user story, which is the requirement coming from the planning system, this is why this developer manual has committed this code, and probably because of this, it has triggered this failure and in our test status. All those end-to-end traceability and visibility you can find in one single place. Apart from that, you also can get rid of these testing bottlenecks easily. Since we are triggering this functional performance and security testing very early, we are able to find out the issues much faster. That means we can address those issues much faster as well. And believe it or not, it happens in every build, all those performance testing and security testing. So that means end of the project, you don't face any performance issues or security vulnerability issues. You're not surprised with those when it comes in the production. And you could see dashboards which shows all the results in one single place. You see the performance testing results. You see the code coverage. You see these red modules or blocks. This is nothing but it's showing these are the modules which is not performing well in this build. You go and see what is the reason, what has been the code commit, and you can find out why it has caused that degrade in performance as well. So even if the software is well tested and it's all developed, still it's very, very hard to actually deploy multiple times, frequently whenever you need it in different environments. It's not an easy task. And especially when you've got this manual approaches or semi-automated scripts or tools, which is not mature enough, which is not scalable, it's going to be really cumbersome. So that's where our release orchestration solutions comes into play. We have got components like deployment automation and release control within our enterprise DevOps solution. They are able to actually automate the whole process. It's a repeatable process which you can run anytime you want. And if, as you could see, it's a completely drag and drop based environment. It not only provides those automation, it provides those release information as well. It has also has got updates on the release activities. You could see the release train and all those schedules in one place. And again, it's all well integrated with our governance solution, which is Octane. Now the software is deployed into production. We are able to monitor it with our AI ops based approach. We have got artificial intelligence and machine learning adopted here, using which we're able to monitor issues immediately. And if in case if we find issues, we are able to actually automatically remediate into service management systems as well. As you could see here, it goes and creates an incident in service management systems. And it is also well integrated again with Octane. That means it's able to automatically raise a defect in Octane, which the developer will look into immediately. So what is the value in it? A lot of customers are trying to get this right. Any updates you do into, especially if the developer is doing an update on a defect, it's automatically synchronized with the service management system. The end customer gets to know the resolution immediately. As it shows here, this is an incident which is in the service management system, and this is a defect in Octane, which is being worked on by the developer, which shows the backlog as well. So people can see the big picture in real time, and it lets them act quicker and also take better decisions as well. So what if I'm using Azure or AWS DevOps already? They are outstanding cloud vendors who has got a bit of continuous integration and continuous deployment solution as well. Can Octane still add value here? Absolutely, 100%. One thing which is missing in AWS or Azure is the continuous testing as part of the pipeline. Especially the security and performance testing is a missing aspect. And the other major value is out-of-the-box reports, those intelligent reports for the business stakeholders. Things like, how is the development progressing with a specific feature? Are we release ready for an important business requirement? Are we stable performance-wise for peak usage in December? These are some of the intelligent things what you can find by default with within Octane's dashboard. Only Octane can provide those value. So just summarizing things, we talked about 5 different challenges broadly. Dependencies. So how do you address it? With Octane, we have this orchestrated solution. From a single point, we're able to actually monitor and govern all the phases. That's why we have got the centralized dashboard capabilities as well, the much needed intelligence. And we can easily address the disjointed tools with our strategy behind integrating the people, process, and systems as well. There is no more siloed systems. And we can address the continuous testing issues as well with continuous testing approach. We are making sure every build is tested and secure as well. As I said earlier, we include performance testing and security testing much early into the pipeline, which is a key differentiator. Tracking releases, we have got those automation solutions to track releases and automate deployments as well. I know we haven't discussed much about legacy systems, but we have got this beautiful solution in mainframe modernization. And Micro Focus has been a leader in the space, working with so many different customers. We have got tools like Enterprise Developer, with which we are able to actually migrate the traditional mainframe COBOL development environment to the agile process used by Java development team, which is a foundation for any DevOps. Few key takeaways, I believe Enterprise DevOps solution, which is offered by Micro Focus, can address certainly all aspects of the DevOps, not just the problems in continuous integration or continuous deployment or continuous testing, but throughout the software lifecycle. It can provide the end-to-end visibility and traceability. And this solution is not based on a rip and replace approach. We build on what works for the customers. And there is a great strategy for legacy systems too. It can be deployed either on-premise or SaaS-based model as well. It's a highly valuable solution to look into if you're thinking of offering value to your end customers more often. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope it was useful. Thanks for joining me. Bye.